The next time you need a haircut, think of the barbershop with a grand tradition. Williams Barbershop. Williams Barbershop, proud to serve the entire community of Eufaula. Come by to our new location, new facilities, and see what it's like to be treated in style at Williams Barbershop in the old J.C. Penney catalog store. There is another choice for making funeral arrangements. Central Funeral Services, located in Eufaula and Louisville, Alabama, with one-of-a-kind staff, thrives on professionalism and meeting the unique needs of families with a wide variety of services. Owned and operated by the Mixon family. Call 687-1060 or 266-5261. Melissa Mixon Smith, licensed funeral director.
You're watching Gumbo Live with L.C. Green. I want to thank you for watching. It's very obvious to see I don't have a guest, and I think what I'm going to do every now and then, periodically, I'm going to just come on and do an editorial, or just give my opinion about things. But I'm still going to have the format where we're going to have guests, where we can enjoy ourselves and be informed. I want to talk from this subject today to those of you who would be so kind as to watch this program and to listen. I want to talk from the subject of we the people. I think that we the people are one of the most powerful statements that can be made. And I think that we the people is a statement that is unique and owned by those of us who live here in America. Those of us who live here in America, I think that we don't really have not understand the power of we the people. I think that every so often we ought to go back and really get a definition of we the people and understand what we the people mean. One of the things that inspired me to do this was this weekend. Bloody Sunday was celebrated this weekend. Now let me say this, that there are several different views of Bloody Sunday. There are some people who it don't mean nothing to. There are some people who watched every moment of it. There are some people who even took part in it. There are some people who will tell you that that's the past and you need to get over it. That's what some people will tell you. But let me say a few things about that. I always tell the young people that you need to know your history in order to appreciate not only your future, but your presence. If you don't appreciate your history, if you don't appreciate what was done for you, then you will never appreciate the privilege and the things that you have the access to, the things that you can enjoy now. You got to understand that everything costs, and even though you may not have to pay, somebody paid. So I want to say that. And those of you who say get over it, I just want to let you know that is not something that you have to get over. So we the people. The march started off with hundreds. This weekend it was thousands. It was thousands. We the people, each individual can make a difference. Each individual can make a difference. For those folks who say their vote don't count, I feel sorry for you, because you don't understand we the people. We the people. When we the people come together, when we the people let our voice be heard, things change. Things change. And what we got to realize, that we put certain people in position to represent we the people. And And I think that if anybody is in any position, whether elected, appointed, or selected, however they get there, and what they do affects we the people, then I think we the people ought to at least get an explanation if we don't have any input into what's going on. A lot of things are happening here, and we the people don't have no idea why it happened or how it happened. And we have folks who don't think that we the people have a right to know. And I'm here to do two things. I'm here to let we the people know the power of we the people. I want us to know that when we put our voices together, when we stand together, it can make a difference. Yes, you're going to lose some battles. But I guarantee you, when we come together as we the people, we're going to win more battles than we're going to lose. I will offer that to you. Yes, you ain't going to win every battle. But the secret is coming together as we the people, where we can win more than we lose. And now it takes commitment from we the people. It takes concern from we the people. We got to be concerned. We got to be committed. And that's going to be time consuming sometimes. Sometimes we the people just don't want to take the time to be involved. And shame on us. Shame on us. We don't go to meetings. We don't go here and we don't go there. I want to give you some examples of things that I see that we the people ought to have our voice in. Let's start off with elected officials. I think it's very easy to understand. I think all of us understand that. Maybe the elected officials don't understand. But you are elected to represent we the people. We know that we the people can all of us go there. Can all of us go. So what we do, we elect you to be the spokesperson for we the people. Now, I want we the people to understand that when we elect somebody, that's what we're electing them for. We're electing them to represent us. We're representing them to be our voice when we can't be there. Or if we are there and we're not allowed to speak, we represent somebody to speak for us. Now, you speak for we the people by listening to we the people. And when you speak for we the people, you have to speak for the masses, not the handful. When you read about we the people in the Constitution or wherever you read about it, it always talks about the masses. It always talks about the majority. It don't talk about the handful. Sometimes it takes just a handful to get the attention. But you're representing not even yourself. If you are elected official and something come before you, you may not agree with it. But because we the people agree with it, you represent us. You represent us on we the people. You know. I was just thinking the other day. I had several conversations. Here in Eufaula, we have just had two vacancies, two coaching vacancies open for here in Eufaula, and I was just thinking about the whole situation. And you asked us to buy tickets, you asked us to support the sports, you asked us to go to the concession stand, and then when you get ready to make decisions based on, you don't hear from the people. I think that people who are in the position to make the decisions ought to hear from we the people. We ought to hear from we the people from this perspective. You may, but Brother Superintendent, you may know more about what's going on than we do. But then why don't you inform us about this is happening and this is happening, and this is what I need to do. Or I'm getting pressure from here, or I'm getting pressure from there. I don't know. But I think that as supporters, see, I think once you ask us, regardless of who it is, once you ask us to support you, I think that you owe us something. If you got a team and you're asking me to buy tickets to come support your team, I think you owe me at least a briefing or something. And then when I thought about that, I couldn't help but think about this. I couldn't help but think about my brother Ted. Brother Ted, those of you who know, you know what I mean. Brother Ted was doing the games for the football. We was doing the games for the football, and all I ever heard was good compliments about what was going on. And I was told that the principal and the coach got rid of Ted. I think that before the principal and the coach did that, they should have had some kind of survey, some kind of input from the people. Ted loved it. I enjoyed it. And I just recently found out, I call myself, let me tell you what's funny. I call myself quitting because of Ted, because I call myself supporting Ted. I call myself protesting and quitting because they got rid of Ted. And I just found out last week that the coach had told all you follow TV to get rid of me. I didn't know that. But listen. Why am I using these examples? Because we were in the public. We were the voice of the football team, and the folks was listening and enjoying it. And if you wanted to get rid of the voice of your sports, I guess you have a right to do it. But don't the people have a right to say something? Don't the people have a right to say, well, listen, I enjoy Ted. Y'all saying y'all you know. But the only complaint I ever heard was about the radio. I never heard nothing about complaint about Ted, or about me, be honest with you. But so because we are the people, because we are the ones who make the wheel turn. And when you want to stop turning the wheel, it seems to me, now I stand here and I tell you, like I always tell you, anytime something is said on Gumbo Live, anytime somebody's name is called, then you have a right to come back on the air, and I'll give you as much time as you need. If I stay on for 30 minutes and you say you want 30 minutes to rebuttal, I'll give you 30 minutes. Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Principal of the high school, coach, former coach, come on and tell us why you made decisions without taking in consideration we the people. And then if you may come on and say, well, I did listen to the people. Well, then tell us what people you listened to. Tell us if there was a mass meeting somewhere. Tell us, principal and coach, that you did a survey somewhere. You did a survey, and the people said that they didn't like Ted or they didn't like the LC Green, so you want to get rid of them. And if that's what happened, listen, when we the people speak, we may not like it, but we got to respect it, what we the people says. And Brother Superintendent, the power to renew and not renew contracts, that's in your hands. That's in your hands. But we the people, Brother Superintendent, we the people, out of courtesy, some things that we do for we the people out of courtesy, and we have now. I'm gonna grant you this. If we don't come to the meetings, then we got no argument. None whatsoever. But now if we are at the meetings, then let me give you an example of something happened at the meetings, city council meetings. A person would give a report about a department, and they'll tell each other, say, well, you got your report in front of you. Read it. So the only people know what's going on is the council people. Well, if you got a report and we the people elected you to represent us, at least tell us what's in the report. I understand something, just like our fire department. Man, do you know our fire department train people all over the state. People come here to be trained. There's a recruiting school going on right now. You know, that's the type of things that we the people ought to know so that we can be proud of. A lot of folks think, well, we live in Eufaula, ain't nothing happening. But we doing, I talk to people all the time. And here lately I've been talking about, because it's on the news, about community policing. And one of the things that these other cities bigger than Eufaula, they talk about they don't have the cameras on the officers, and they don't have cameras in the cars, and they're trying to get that. But we got that already in Eufaula. We ought to let our citizens know. You know, at the council meeting, when you give your report, I'm just making a suggestion. Highlight some of the things that the fire department and the police department and all these other departments are doing. I understand. I heard somebody tell me the other day that crime is down in Eufaula. They say crime is down 50%. Lord have mercy. That's newsworthy. That's newsworthy anywhere you go. We ought to call. See, if our crime rate is down in any area, 50%, we ought to call CNN here. And the mayor and all of the council people and the chief, y'all ought to have a press conference, man. Y'all ought to have a press conference. Call CNN and say, give the time frame. Our crime rate is down. You know how many cities would rejoice? They would throw a party if their crime rate was down 50%. Crime rate cut in half. I don't care if it's burglary. I don't care if it's domestic, whatever it is. Man, that's something to celebrate. And that's the type of things that you got to tell we the people. I always say this to anybody that listens to me. If you don't put out some facts to us, if you don't tell we the people, that just leave we the people standing on the street talking, and there's always somebody out there that's talking about something that they don't know. There's always somebody talking about something that they don't know, something that's not factual. And here we the people, we reacting to something that we don't know. We reacting to something that's not fact, but we reacting to because it's all we hear. And I think that those with the responsibility of being in leadership position, I think that you ought to always keep in mind that you ought to inform we the people. When the people are informed, when the people, it's been my experience that when you inform the folks, you got less problems. And then when something listen, if you inform the folks and something do happen, and things happen, y'all. Ain't no in the world we're going to live in this world without things happening. But when things do happen, because the people have already been informed about procedures and about policies and about what we are doing and how we are doing and why we are doing it. When folks are informed and things happen, it don't blow up. And I know you don't want to talk about Ferguson, but listen to the reports that came out of Ferguson. One of the reasons why Ferguson blew up the way it did is because you had a whole community that was not informed at all. You talk about, you don't want to talk about Bloody Sunday, but you know when the folks marched, do you not know that there was not an African American that could vote in Lyons County? Not one. Not one. They had a large population, but they couldn't vote. And what caused the march? Now listen to this. I'm going to show you how important communication. What caused the march was somebody went down there, started communicating to the people. Y'all call them agitators, whatever you want to call them. I'm saying what they simply did, they went down and communicated with the people, opened a line of discussion, and told folks, by the Constitution of the United States of America, you have a right to vote. You are an American citizen, and I don't care what they say. I don't care if they say you not. The Constitution says that you are an American citizen, and because you are an American citizen, you have a right to vote. And then somebody, well, we want our rights. But it all started because somebody was communicating to somebody. And I thank God for that. I thank God for communication. I thank God for folks who are in position, not afraid to talk, not afraid to keep the books open, and have compassion. Another thing that started the movement is that there was folks who had compassion on other folks. Somebody woke up one morning and said, this ain't right. Even the President of the United States said, this is not right. You had folks hating on Dr. Martin Luther King, hating on John Lewis, hating on all these folks. The foot soldiers, they got beat, man, simply because there was people with no compassion. There were people with no communication. Man, talk to folks. Talk to folks. I tried another thing, another issue. When Judge Roy Moore, head of our state judicial system, as long as he talking against same-sex marriage, some of y'all get mad at me right now. The state voted against same-sex marriage. I'm against it too. As long as Judge Roy Moore is talking about he's against same-sex marriage, L.C. Green gonna stand right there with him. But you know when I'm gonna leave him? I'm gonna leave him when he says the federal court has no jurisdiction on the state. I got to leave him. I got to, because again, let's go back to 50 years ago. Let's go back to what Bloody Sunday was representing. The folks who were against black folks and other folks voting, the folks who was against women voting, they was enforcing the state law. They was enforcing the state law. So all of us of goodwill, everybody of goodwill, listen to me very careful. I believe this to the bottom. Everybody of goodwill ought to say, thank God for the federal courts. And thank God for folks who was brave enough to look at Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Oklahoma, all these states, and say, y'all wrong. And so the federal court has to make a ruling for equality. For equality. No. Same-sex marriage is morally wrong, and I'm against anything that's morally wrong. I'm against that. And as long as we stay right there, I'm for that. Now, now listen to this. If the federal court comes back and says to Alabama, we got to uphold same-sex marriage. Guess what we're going to do? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. See, that's when it comes down to individuals. Probate judge, if you morally against same stuff, don't marry nobody. As a preacher, as a pastor, I'm not marrying a same-sex couple, but I'm going to respect their right to do it because the court says they could do it. I know, and my job is to stand there and tell you what God says. But we live in a land of laws. We can't act like that we don't live in a land of laws. Folks have long ago threw away God's law. Folks don't care about following God's law, but they got to follow some kind of law. And if you're not going to follow God's law, then you ought to follow the law of the land. The Bible declared that we are in the world, but not of the world. And because we are living in this world, there's render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and unto God that which is God. There are some things that we must do. And one of the things, I can't just go down driving the highway 100 miles an hour. It may not be morally wrong, but for my own good and for your own good, for your safety, for my safety, the law says that this road can only handle vehicles that's driving 55 or 60. Once you drive 100 miles an hour, your vehicle and this road become unsafe for you and everybody else. If they didn't have that law, man, we'd be killing each other with vehicles every day. So we got to abide by that law. When I look up and see a 55 miles an hour, I don't like that. But because I don't like it, that doesn't mean anything. I still got to be obedient to the law. The Bible teaches us to be obedient to those who are over us. So this is what we got to do. We the people. I'm going back to we the people. we got to be very careful and very prayerful of who we elect over us. That's what we got to do. See, we got to be careful about the folks that we elect, appoint, or however we get them, select them. If we're going to elect them in position to make the laws, if we're going to make them, put them in position that they're going to put out stuff that we got to follow, we got to be very careful. We got to be very. If you know that we are taxed out, if you know that we can't pay another penny tax, why elect somebody that's going to raise tax? Why not elect somebody that feel what you feel? And they say, man, another penny tax, I can't feed my family. You see, there's always a difference between the have and the have-nots. And what the have-nots have always done, if you look at our history, they have put the haves in power. I'm going to say it again. And look at our history. I'm saying something, the history of the United States of America will back us up. The have-nots have a habit of putting the haves in power. And when the haves get in power and they can't sympathize with the have-nots, then you got a problem. And then the have-nots get to crying to the haves. But you put somebody that come from a whole different world than you. Because they're the haves. You follow what I'm saying? I hope I'm making sense to you. So all I'm saying is two things. And I'm going to say this as long as I got breath. Go vote. Go vote and know who you're voting for. I hope I live to see the day when this party system is gone, where there's no more party system. That when somebody offer themselves to be elected, that you ain't gonna worry about what party, what race, what gender. None of those things are gonna be important. What's gonna be important is the issues. And I tell you something, my brothers, because somebody said, well, what about they tell you one thing and then get in office? You can get them out. There's nobody in office who can't get out. Even if you have to wait till their term. If you have to wait till their term is up, don't re-elect them. And plus, there are procedures for folks to be impeached. I mean, we got procedures to protect we the people. Everything that's written by law, everything that's written is to protect we the people. I want us to understand just how powerful we the people are. We got certain rights and we got certain freedoms because what? Because we the people, huh? We the people. Can't no Winn-Dixie come in here and say can't no other store come in here. That's not how we work, because the laws are designed where we the people have a choice. We have a choice whether we want to go to school. We have a choice whether we want to shop. Huh? We have a choice what doctor we want to go to. I just went to the dentist. I have a choice. I have a choice. Ain't no one person going to sit up and say, well, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Because if I was the only show in town, then I could tell you, well, you can't watch this show. You can't watch it. But because Gumbo Live is not the only show in town, why? Because of we the people. We the peoples, we demand that we have more than Gumbo Live. Now, what about that? There are folks who don't like Gumbo Live. So we the people, everything in America is designed for we the people. Designed to make our lives better. Designed to protect us. Huh? Look at the laws. Well, what are they for? They are to protect us. They are to make our lives better. Who? We the people. We the people is the most powerful element around. Why you think the haves, and I say this, Satan works so hard to keep we the people separated. Because our power comes when we come together as we the people. I want you to know that you're watching Gumbo Live and you're watching this program or either on channel 97 locally here in the city of Eufaula, or you're watching it on YouTube. Every Tuesday we come on, and I want to thank you, and I want to thank those of you who stop me all the time and tell me you watch the program and give me your opinion about the program. And I invite any of you, whether you like the program or you don't like it, I invite you to come on the program. I'm filming at my house today, but normally I film at the Bread Basket at 2 o'clock. I try to do it the week before. I try to do it at least the Monday before. I'm doing this on a Tuesday that it's going to be shown. So, but especially if I call your name, especially if I said something that you did, and if you didn't do it, come back, because I'm getting this from somebody. Everything I'm doing, I'm getting from somebody else. The situation with the coaches, I'm getting that from somebody else. So, coach, you got a chance to come on. Superintendent, you got a chance to come on. The fact that me and Ted, I'm getting that from somebody else. So, principal, coach, if you didn't get rid of me and Ted, you got a right to come on Gumbo Live. Because see, one thing I always try to tell my listeners, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be as honest as I can, because I don't like nobody to lie to me or lie on me. So I'm not going to come on here and do that to you. There's nobody here in the world that I want to come on this air and lie about. I don't want to come on the air and lie to you. That's why I was so shocked. I was so shocked because when folks asked me why I wasn't doing the game, I told them I just walked off. I told them I quit. I didn't go into no whole detail. And to come to find out that I did not tell them the truth, come to find out that I was not on the air because the coach told them to take me off, that shocked me. That shocked me, because if that would have been the case, and if I'd have known that and you asked me, I'd have told you. I'd have told you. I call myself getting off to support Brother Ted. That's God knows. God knows that's the truth, y'all. That is honest to goodness truth. I just found out. Different. So there's a lot of rumors out in this city. There's a lot of rumors out, man. And see, this is what I'm not a blogger. I'm not a blogger. I'm not going to get on no computer and say things and don't sign my name to it. I'm not going to make accusations to folks and don't give them a chance. If I make an accusation to you, I'm giving you a chance to come on and reply. You know, people start kind of rumors, and what they do with rumors, they like to put your name to it. You know, people call me and say something, I say, now listen, that ain't true. And don't you tell nobody I said that. Don't you put my name in there. You know, the ABI and the U.S. Marshals and everybody was in town, and they had them arresting everybody, and that was not even so. You know, we got to be careful, because there is power behind we the people. So we the people got to be careful what we say. We the people got to be careful of what we do. And we the people got to be mindful of how we treat each other. We are precious. We are precious in the sight of God. And because we are precious in God's sight, somebody else might not think much of you. That's all right. You may not think much of me, but that's all right. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm precious in God's sight. I know that. I know that without any hesitation. Nobody have to tell me. I know, because His Word tells me. So we the people, we got to be very, very, very careful of how we treat one another. We got to be careful what we say. You just can't make some wild accusations. I found myself going to apologize to a man. The other day I went to him with a joke, and when I thought about that joke wasn't even funny, based on some rumors. And it wasn't funny, and I couldn't sleep that night. So I went back to him the next day, and I apologized. I said, man, that joke wasn't even funny. I apologize. So we got to be careful as we the people. We got to be careful of how we treat one another. Got to be very careful what we say about one another. We are not to tear each other down, but to build each other up. We the people. We the people have power. We the people. Well, if you don't think that, why do you think that there's time when folks come to us? Why do you think there's time when politicians come to us? If they didn't think that we had the power to put them in office and keep them in office, they wouldn't come to us. They wouldn't come to us. And it bothers me when anybody silences the voice of we the people. America was not designed for the voice of we the people to be silent. And our history would tell you that. Talk to some of the history teachers in school, and talk to some of the people that study the Constitution. America was never designed for we the people to be silent. Matter of fact, if you read it just right, you'll find that America was designed so that we the people could speak. And everything was supposed to revolve around we the people. We the people. Everything was supposed to, if you don't believe me, read your Bible and see that God gave us dominion over everything on this earth. When He created us, He gave us dominion over everything on this earth. So let's back up now. Let's get out of the Bible and talk about our government and the Constitution. The Constitution is designed where we the people got dominion. We're not to be enslaved. We're not to be treated like second class. We the people, everything is designed to support we the people. That's why they say you can't discriminate on a job. If we the people qualify for a job, it says that we ought to be able to work. The Constitution says that we ought to be able to make a living, that we ought to be able to take care of our family, that we ought to be able to eat, that we ought to be able to clothe ourselves, and we ought to be able to have housing. Because why? Because we the people. And everything is designed to ensure that we the people are heard, and not only are we heard, that we the people are taken care of. We the people. We the people. A lot of decisions are being made, and we the people are not being involved. We the people. Now let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. Are there some rotten folks? Yes, there are. Are there some folks who shouldn't be heard? No. No, I don't care how rotten you are. I don't care how much you lie. There are folks who look at you in the face and just lie. But that person still should be heard because they're still part of we the people. Is somebody breaking your house? Somebody breaking your house. But we got laws against that. Why? Because we the people ain't got to be breaking we the people house. They got laws against that. They got laws. But why do they have laws? They have laws so that when we the people break the law against we the people ain't got to take it in our own hands. That's why they got laws. The laws are to protect we the people. And my whole thing on this Gumbo Live program is to try to get us to understand the power of we the people. Hopefully that would motivate us to come together. When we stop hollering at each other and really sit down and talk to each other. You saw what happened here in Eufaula. You saw what happened here in Eufaula when the city council got to hollering at each other and one person started trying to bully everybody, or maybe two people started trying to bully everybody else. It don't work. And the only thing come out of that is anger. And this whole town was divided behind that. And a lot of folks was not pleased. So what we need to do, yes, we're going to have our differences. That's part of this world. But how do you handle your differences? I'm saying that we open a line of communication and keep it open. If something is wrong, sit down with that person. Sit down with that person. I'm I don't want to use nobody else as an example, so I might use myself as an example. If I am not calling the game the way you want me to call it, Coach, Mr. Principal, sit down and talk to me. Don't call you for the TV and tell them to take me off. Sit down. We're gonna all have differences. We got differences in how we speak. Some got accent. Some got a different dialogue. But talking is the key. And America is designed for we the people to talk. Remember I told you when I first started that we elect people to speak for us when we can't speak? When we are not there, we'll elect folks to represent us. Why? Because we the people has to be represented in everything. We the people ought to have a voice in everything. We the people. Use a few examples. I'm pretty sure that there's many more that you can think of where we the people should have had a say. I think that we seen what happened right here when we the people spoke and government didn't listen. There's ill feelings right here right now. And the thing I hated about it is that there was never a time when those against sit down with those who was for, and those who was for could say why they was for it, and those who was against it could say why they was against it. I don't know of no time as that. I don't know of no time as that happened. And see, that's what you got to do when there's an issue, and you got some for and some against. Sit them down and let's talk. Let's talk. I may not be as for it as I think I am when I hear why you're against it. I give you a prime example. I had a conversation yesterday with a man who I really respect, who I think a whole lot of. And we was talking about the Edmund Pettus Bridge. And I said to him, I said, you had over 80,000 folks in Selma. I said, and they should have raised saying about the name of that bridge. It was named after a Confederate general and the leader of the Alabama KKK. And you got his name up there, and he disagreed with me. And I listened to him, and he said, no, he said, I don't think you ought to do that, and I don't think you ought to be raising saying about the Confederate flag. He said, I don't think you ought to change history. And I realized that you can't erase history, you know. But see, I thought I was all for changing the name. But when I got to talking to somebody, and they gave us a different insight of it, and I had an open enough mind that I could view things from a different perspective. Leave it alone. I don't care what your name. I don't care what your name that bridge. And it symbolized something that we all not forget. So brothers and sisters who say get over, no, let's don't get over it. Let's remember what it. Let's remember what it represents, so we won't go back there no more. See the history. What good thing about history, and what good thing about remembering history is that we don't have to go back to the bad parts of it no more. You see, as we move forward, we need to remember the things and listen. We need to remember the things that hurt us and caused us problems. And the thing that hurt us and caused us problem was the fact that we were separated. That's what it all boiled down to. 50 years ago we were separated. 50 years ago, some people had access to things that other folks didn't have. And yes, I'm one of the people who will stand on a mountaintop and say things better. I wanted to be better. It's better for me than it was for my grandmother who raised me. And it's going to be better for my kids and my grandchildren than it is for me. But we got to make that happen. It ain't gonna just get better because it got better. It got better because somebody stood up and said, man, let's talk. Somebody stood up and said, let's do something. I plead to the churches all the time. I tell the churches every chance I get, I say, we too quiet as churches. We too quiet as pastors. That we act like we're scared. I don't know what it is. But somebody gonna have to say something. Somebody got to say something. And I don't want to just stay on the elected officials. I want to stay on those of us who vote for them. That's what I want to stay on. I'm never gonna just ride down the elected officials, because they do what we let them do, and they get away with what we let them get away with. I say we had a great opportunity to change the presidency of the council. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. We didn't raise our voice about that. So, so I'm getting on those of us who vote. And for those of you who don't vote, you can just cut it off, because I don't even want to talk to folks that don't vote, because it's aggravating to me when you look at what happened, and you look at the price that was paid to vote, and you don't vote. No. Short patience with folks who don't vote. And for those of us who vote, I want us to be educated voters. I want us to be smart voters. I want us to research before we vote. Before we pull that lever, I want us to know who we're voting for. And if it's a bill on there, the last time we voted, man, they had so many different amendments on there. And I went around trying to ask the folks who should know what these amendments mean. They didn't know what they meant. So I didn't vote on them. Some of them I didn't vote on. The ones I understood, I voted on. Those I didn't understand, I didn't vote on them. Don't vote on something we don't understand. But let's vote. And let's know who we're voting for. If a person is already elected, then all they should have to do is put their record out there. You done served a 4-year term, 6-year term, whatever, then you very little you got to say when you're campaigning. Just run off your record and bring your record. And when you knock on somebody's door, say, I'm running for so-and-so. I've been serving already. Here's my record. This is what I have accomplished. That's easy campaign right there. And if they can't, if somebody knocking on your door is already serving and they got a record of doing nothing, we ain't gonna send them back to do nothing for another 4 years. No, everything they do we ain't gonna like. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about two types of people that don't do nothing and people that won't give us a voice. That's what I'm talking about. Because we, the people, deserve better. We, the people, deserve somebody that's going to represent us. We, the people, deserve somebody that's going to talk to us and not talk at us, but talk with us, talk to us, not talk about us. You're a poor leader. You're going around talking about folks. Poor leader, because you don't like somebody, so you're going to go talk about them. You don't like what they said. That's poor leadership. And you all not have no kind of leadership position. You all not be elected to nothing. You all not be appointed to nothing, if that's the kind of attitude you have. Because we, the people, deserve better. And all I'm going to try to do is try to inform the folks and let them know that we, the people, deserve better than what we're getting. And we can get better. We can get folks serving us that we deserve. We got to get better than what we have now. And we, the people, deserve better. We deserve better treatment. Huh? Do you not know that there are some people whose job is on the line because of politics? We the people deserve better than that. We deserve better than you getting rid of folks because it's a political move. We deserve better than that. If there's somebody you ought to bring it to we the people. And we the people ought to come together and demand these type of things. That's where it's going to help us. See, we got to stop the backroom deals. And the only way we can stop the backroom deals is that we the people don't accept them. See, they make the deals in the back room, but sooner or later they got to come forward with them. And when they bring it forward, we the people say, no, we the people don't accept this because we the people wasn't involved in this. Y'all made this decision in the back room. You know why they got the sunshine law? The sunshine law is to protect we the people. I guarantee that's what it's for. The sunshine law is to protect we the people. They say in the sunshine law said that elected officials just can't come together and make decisions behind closed doors. No. Now they got all kinds of tricks that they use to get around it, but the law is there to protect we the people. And when you look at the laws, man, it's there to protect we the people. There are certain positions that have to be elected. Some can be appointed, but most of them is elected position. Why do we have elected positions? To protect we the people. That's what it's for. To protect we the people. My time is just about up. My time is just about up, but I just want to thank y'all. I want to thank y'all every time you watch Gumbo Live, every time you're somewhere and you see me and you speak to me, and that does me good. And especially when you tell me that you're watching the program. Some people tell me they like it, some say they don't like it. But I'm listening to you whether you tell me you like it or you don't like it. I'm always soliciting ideas of what to make this thing better. And I've heard y'all, some people suggest that I get so and so on, and I'm trying to get different people on. I'm trying to get folks on who will inspire us. I'm trying to get folks on who will inform us, because I want us to be informed, and I want to have fun doing it. But the main thing, I want somebody that's going to come on and be honest with we the people. I want somebody that's going to tell we the people this is what it is. Because there's no powerful thing than we the people. If you talk to anybody that ever lived in a communist country and they come to America, they'll tell you, number one, how powerful we the people are, and number two, how much they appreciate to live in a country where we the people have say. Our country's designed, our laws, our constitution is designed for we the people. And my request is now, I'm begging us. I'm begging for us, we the people. Harold Melvin and the Blue Note sung a song years ago. I remember said, "Wake up, everybody." And it's time for us to wake up and really realize what's in our hands as we the people. We the people, some powerful folks. We the people. We the people. We declare, we the people declare that we deserve better than what, and I'm not just talking about Eufaula. I'm talking about the state of Alabama. I'm talking about every state. I'm talking about this country. We the people deserve better. We deserve better, man. You just sending our kids over there, getting them killed without any explanation whatsoever. Without any explanation whatsoever. Got folks who can't get Medicare, can't get no kind of medical care for no reason. You can't explain why folks are hungry. We the people deserve better than that. Tell us why we don't have no jobs. When the only way we can take care of our families and ourselves and live the way we're supposed to, we got to have jobs. We the people deserve better than that. It's a shame the way Detroit is. And there's other cities like that. We the people deserve better. And we the people will never get any better. We will never get any better. We will never get any better if we don't demand to get better. If we don't demand, if we don't demand to be treated better, we're going to continue to be treated the way we are. If we don't demand to if we don't go to these polls and speak at the voting places, then things will never change. We the people will always be down until we learn how to get to that poll and pull that lever. That's where the power is. That's where we the people power is. We the people power is in the vote. That's our voice. When others won't speak for us, we speak for ourselves. We the people. You've been watching Gumbo Live, and again, all I can say to you is thank you for watching, and we on every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night at 6:45, 6:50 on channel 97 or 115.5 on your high def TV if you got Bright House. And I'm working on that when we come on Tuesdays, that it would already be on YouTube or thereafter. That's what I'm working on. And my producers are watching this program, and they're putting it together, and they know my desire is to have it on YouTube on Tuesdays. So when you watch it on TV and you're calling somebody that can't watch it on TV, that they can turn and get it on YouTube at the same time. All right. And again, if you got any questions or any comments about anything that is said or done on Gumbo Live and you can't get me, please go by the bread basket and drop off your comments there with Tony. Now, what I have a hard time dealing with comments or questions that nobody won't sign. So if you truly want your concerns addressed or you want your questions answered, please write your name. And if you see me, you can stop me at any time, wherever you see me at, and I'll be more than happy to listen to you. You know, I don't listen to profanity and all that other stuff, and I really don't listen to a lot of accusations. But if we can have a decent conversation, I'll be more than happy to do it. But again, I tell anybody that want to come on Gumbo Live, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I'm not going to do this, but every now and then I'm going to come on by myself and give commentary. I don't like coming on by myself. I'd rather have me a guest, but sometimes it's necessary to do this, and I will. But again, I want to thank the Bread Basket for not only allowing me to film there, but I want to thank them for you being able to drop off your questions or your comments, whatever it is that you want to do. And I want to thank you. I want to thank my producer for even when I go in there at the last minute, he has a way of getting this on. I thank you, I thank you, I thank you, and God bless America. You've been watching Gumbo Live.
The next time you need a haircut, think of the barbershop with a grand tradition. Williams Barbershop. Williams Barbershop, proud to serve the entire community of Eufaula. Come by to our new location, new facilities, and see what it's like to be treated in style at Williams Barbershop in the old J.C. catalog store. There is another choice for making funeral arrangements. Central Funeral Services, located in Eufaula and Louisville, Alabama. With one-of-a-kind staff, thrives on professionalism and meeting the unique needs of families with a wide variety of services. Owned and operated by the Mixon family. Call 687-1060 or 266-5261. Melissa Mixon Smith, licensed funeral director.